Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight I have a good one for you guys in the Iowa. First of all, thank you to everybody who came out for the stream Friday, I believe it was. So thank you to those folks who dropped by to watch me struggle to try to get that 150,000 damage goal. And, spoiler alert, we managed to make it happen. Also, hope you guys have enjoyed your Memorial Day weekend for those of you guys in the U.S., and for those of you who aren't in the U.S., hope you had a great weekend. So, what are we doing? Well, we're in the Iowa, as you can see. It is literally my favorite ship to play right now. Just unlocked it last week, so been enjoying it pretty well. And sometimes, it's funny how this works. Sometimes you start out a match and you struggle and you struggle and you struggle and nothing seems to go right, and and other times you start off and the very first game you get is a good one. It doesn't happen very often, but it's nice when it does, especially for those of us who like to record our stuff. It's very nice to not have to sit there for hours and hours and struggle, and that's an island, Spartan. What are you doing? Now you're going to be broadside on to God and everybody because you're going to crash into the island. Luckily, whoever shot at you first managed to miss, but I wouldn't give him another chance. So we'd already thrown it in reverse, and we're trying to get out of here. Nobody seems to be in range, but somebody obviously shot at us. And sure enough, we spot a battleship off to the right. It is a Colorado. It's not quite broadside on, but oh no, we fired high explosive. Well, if you're ever going to fire high explosive, it might as well be at a bow tanking battleship. So we still get some damage there. Probably irritated him a little bit. Now, it'd be very nice if this Iowa would get going! Now, I don't know about you guys, but I took and checked into some of my commander skills because I kept saying this during the stream is, I don't understand why they tell you this thing has a 30 knot top speed. I never seem to reach it. And then Goonie, a friend of mine, he points out, hey, dummy, you know how you say you take all the perks for the dispersion and all that good stuff? Yeah, well, one of those perks takes 7% of your top speed, dummy. Yeah, that's why you never reach 30 kilometers. Or 30 knots. 30 kilometers. I'm going to say that a lot. Now, as you can see, that is a huge wall of skill headed for that Colorado. And he is doing absolutely nothing to avoid it. So, as he just absolutely gets creamed, that's my key, my cue to go, alright, this side's with Jesus. And this is something you got to realize. Now, luckily it was him that got obliterated instead of me, and I actually get a chance to relocate. But there is moments where you just need to go, yeah, it's time for us to leave. And in a battleship, it's not always possible. But the Iowa is one of those few battleships that does make it possible that you can just, I'm out and peace out. And when you have that opportunity, you got to make the most of it. Never cease to, look for targets while you're running away. You've got guns in the front, you've got guns in the rear. Use them, even while you're running away. Don't just sail in a straight line and try to get out of there as fast as you can and not bother shooting at anything. You're not going to be doing anything if you're not shooting anything. Funny how that works. In a battleship, if you're not shooting at anything, you're not doing anything. So, yeah. As you can see, we're getting close to a couple cruisers and a couple battleships out in the center of the map. They're almost in range. Now that we've got the range upgrade for this Iowa, we're able to shoot 19 kilometers, guys. 19 kilometers. That's a long ways to dish out a paddling. But, wait for it. Oh, come on. How's he disappear right then? He couldn't disappear before that? Really? Oh, now he's not going to pop up, is he? He was about to sail broadside on in front of me, and he just disappears at the perfect moment, just as he's about to pop out and show me where I need to aim. But I'm spotted, and wait, he pops up. Are we going to get a shot? It looks like we are, but he's already started turning in, so probably not going to citadel him on this shot, but get some effective fire on him, at least make him think about life choices. Or not. I mean, we could hit him for a little bit of damage, I guess. We've got a whopping 7,000 damage so far in this match. But don't worry, folks. I promise it's going to get better. So, yeah. It's one of those things where you're going to have to fight your way out of a mess. And this is no exception. This is one of those matches where I have to fight my way out of an absolute chaotic mess. Now, we fire the rear guns at him there, just hoping to get a little bit of fire on him, and we get a little bit of fire on him. Nothing to sneeze about. A little 1,000 damage or so. Just keeping him thinking that we're going to obliterate him is enough. Now, again, keeping an eye on the mini-map in the top left corner, you can see that I'm approaching a cruiser. And there's also multiple destroyers in my AO, and that's not preferable. Knowing that we only have a AP loaded, we go ahead, put some rounds out there at that Akatsuki, and with the dispersion of the Iowa, we connect. And we take, what do we take, about 4,000 damage off of them? Pretty solid hits. And the Iowa is one of the few battleships that I don't mind shooting AP at destroyers, because it has such good dispersion with my commander and the perks and the fact that the Iowa's good anyway, and then on top of that getting that bonus 11% to dispersion. Yeah, watch this shot. Just watch it. Clean and multiple hits. Taking another 5,000, 6,000 damage off of that guy. So leaving him with nothing. And that's a very dangerous ship, the Lightning. I don't like destroyers, guys. I'll be real honest. As a battleship captain, I am not a fan of destroyers at all. And I hate torpedoes. Because I just feel like there's no real skill to torpedoes. Sure, you gotta work your way close enough to fire, but when you're talking about these high-tier torpedoes, you can fire them from so far out that you're completely undetected. And the only time I'm gonna notice them is when they're right on top of me. And I do my best to avoid most of them, but if they throw enough at me, I'm gonna get hit with some. That's just the way that works. But as you can see, I am sailing broadside on in front of these guys, and I'm not even scared because there's a New Orleans out there, and he's not exactly a threat to me. However, if he goes broadside on to me, I'm a very real threat to him. So we put out the shots. Those shots look very, very good. And there goes half his health. He's lucky that was only a single citadel. The Iowa very good at stacking citadels when they do hit him. I love this ship. I've said it before. I'll say it again. There is absolutely nothing wrong with my Iowa. I love it. Everything about it. It sails decent. Its turning radius, not the greatest when you need to avoid torpedoes and stuff, but honestly, if you're in a battleship, you don't care about turning anyway. So, just being able to put effective fire on the target like this. I mean, just leading the target, knowing that I know my shots are pretty decent, and we get a good hit, and he's sailing straight towards us, unfortunately. But if we can manage, are they going to get the kill? It looks like they might be able to finish him off here. He's got torpedoes headed towards him, and there's a lot of fire headed his way, and down he goes. Now, the guys that were chasing me all this time, that Colorado has no chance of catching me. I'm in an Iowa, you're just not going to catch me. This thing spends majority of its time at anywhere from 25 to 28 knots, even with my reduction in overall top speed. But there's a problem. I'm not noticing that there's a huge wall of torpedoes. I just got lucky this time. Exactly what I was talking about. This guy's never been spotted anywhere near me, but he managed to launch an entire wall of torpedoes at me, and I avoided them just because I didn't have any other reason to sail that direction. So now that he's shown himself, I know which direction to look, and I put up my plane, because this is why I hold on to him. I hold on to my plane specifically to help me against destroyers, and now immediately the plane spots that destroyer. But this Colorado's about to come out, and are we going to get a good shot on him? He's kind of sailing towards us, and then this guy starts shooting me. So I have the rear gun still loaded, and I'm going to kind of play with my guns off to one side, and then wait till the very last second to look at this Fletcher, because I don't want him to think that I know that he's there. Because as soon as I know that as soon as he knows that I know he's there, look at him, immediately peels off, but I've already put the shot out and hit him with all three of them. Managing to take off 4,000 of his health, and now the front's almost loaded, and they're back towards him. We go ahead, we release the front salvo, And we hit him again. Now, he can't have much health left. And here is one of my favorite things ever. So when a destroyer goes into a smoke screen, a lot of times they just stop. Not always, but a lot of times they just stop. They just sit there and they're like, oh, I'll sit here, he can't see me. But if you're firing your guns, I can see you, dummy. And we take him down with the blind fire. Taking him out. I mean, come on. You had no health left. You retreated your smoke screen. Now, he obviously fired torpedoes, which is why I turned in already to minimize how many I take. I take 1 torpedo out of that. Not too bad. We managed to get away with it. But we knew it was coming, so we knew to turn in towards them to minimize, because the Iowa doesn't turn very well. So if you're waiting too long, the Iowa's going to get obliterated with torpedoes. This Colorado, however, broadside on, this should be an absolute paddling. But unfortunately, we don't get any citadels. He's just going a little bit slow, and we managed to hit too far off the nose of a ship. And, not preferable, but it is a thing. But now that we don't have that single destroyer to worry about, there's still one more destroyer out there, but we don't have to worry about the one that's behind me, right? So we can start to tunnel vision these guys and put some more fire towards them. Now you'll notice I'm leading him in the water towards me, and look at that dispersion. That dispersion is despicable. But I do get a hit and a penetration, 4,300 damage. It's just not going well as far as dispersion because of his premium camo. Most likely, if I had to guess, due to mine also being premium camo for the same reason. I like to have that extra dispersion because there's been multiple times where people have been shooting at me broadside on, and I get away with it because their shells just disperse too much. That being said, I have been paddled a few times, like Nagato the other day. I was turning right off the bat, trying to get away from my spawn, and I run into a frickin' island that no matter how hard I was turned, like I was turning the entire time trying to avoid this island, I spawned too close to it, and I just flat out could not turn quick enough to get around it. And there I was parked broadside on in front of a Nagato, and he citadeled me twice, and over half of my health disappeared. Because Iowa is a huge ship, and the citadels seem to be massive on an Iowa. Speaking of Iowas and huge citadels, hello, sunshine! You're broadside on! Wait for it. Oh, that's a nice tight grouping, and it seems to be good. And there goes all of his health with a single citadel there. Multiple penetrations, taking our damage total up to 112,000. Are we going to get our 3rd kill here, guys? It looks close. Can we do it? Are we going to get a Kraken? These are the questions that everybody is asking. Or just me. That could be a thing. But, wait for it. Cool guys don't need to look at explosions. We know he's dead. There's no way he avoids that. And we turn just in time for him to get another citadel. And down he goes. Because of course you would citadel him to death, right? That's the only way you can do it. Now we've got another Iowa. I am spotted by ship. That Iowa's not in my detection range, which means that there is a destroyer nearby. And I know there's a destroyer nearby. And look, the torpedoes coming from my right, completely blind fired because I can't see him. I love it. I love it. It literally takes so much skill to just waller around in the open ocean and fire your torpedoes at broadside battleships who can't see you. And you get computer targeting to tell you exactly where they're at. Now, I'd already asked for assistance, and as you can see, there is a cruiser starting to close on my location. And that cruiser is going to come in real handy. Luckily, I get to spot the freaking guy right behind me, or at least his plane spotted the guy right behind me. I've already fired my shots. I can't shoot at him. There's literally nothing I can do. Now, I know that he's going to launch more torpedoes at me, but at this point, there's nothing I can really do about it. I can wait for them and then try to avoid as many as possible, but I want to try to help the team by getting rid of this Iowa. I know that I can delete this Iowa. I just need a little bit more time. So, in this mind, I am going to try to take one for the team, but by doing as much damage as possible. We go ahead, throw the shells out there. Here comes another wall of skill. The guy got deleted, thank God. So this is the last wall of skill that we're going to get. But am I going to be able to avoid it? Now, I've seen him coming from a long ways away, but I'm trying to maintain a decent shot at the enemy. We take one in the butt and take the second one, but we managed to make every other one miss. Again, there's only so much you can do in a battleship. Now, we're flooding. We got 6,000 health left. The time is winding down. 6 seconds left. We take the shot. The Iowa had already shot at us. We've got 3,000 health left. He finishes us off, and we get robbed of our damage because the game ends. You gotta love it. That shot would have been devastating to the side of that Iowa. But it is what it is. So what do we end up with, guys? Well, we made almost 500,000 silver. We got 132,000 damage with 3 kills. Top of the leaderboard. Not bad. So if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button. Leave a comment below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, I will see you in the next video.